Hey, everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff, the show where we review pop culture's newest relations releases.
Someone can't host under the most dire situation.
It's not relation. We're not a relationship podcast. We do pop culture releases, and the newest one this time was Marvel's Thunderbolts, the 36th addition to the MCU, directed by Jack Schreier or something like that. He mostly a TV guy. Schreier.
Jake.
And is it Jake?
Yeah.
And it's an ensemble cast with Florence Pugh and David Harbour and Sebastian Stan. And basically, it's a payoff to all those weird Elaine Bennis cameos that we got for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Where she was recruiting assassins and Captain Americas to be on her covert team. But then we find out that she needs to burn some evidence because she's getting looked into by Congress. That one actor that I know, I don't remember his name though. He's been on a bunch of stuff. And Bucky, he's a terrible congressman, but he wants to help.
In a really bad wig.
Yeah, a real bad wig. So, Elaine Bennis, I forget her name. I can't remember.
Valentina or something like that?
Yeah, Valentina, Contessa, whatever. She gets them all together at this vault where she has a bunch of her dark secrets there, and basically gets them to try to kill each other until they figure out, well, someone's trying to kill us. So they also meet a guy named Bob in the vault who they didn't expect to meet a Bob guy, but he's there. So they team up and they got to escape the vault. And we find out there's a secret to Bob, that he's been under some kind of medical experiment to make a golden shining man. And he has superpowers and stuff like that. And Elaine Bennis, she wants to use this for her own peacekeeping force to someone to replace the Avengers. We don't have Avengers. We weren't told that we don't have Avengers. We just don't have Avengers. We have basically Cap and Falcon. He's out there. That's basically it. So we find out, like I was saying, Bob has some special powers. He's the Sentry, if you know that comic book. And that spells some trouble because at first our team wants to go help him get away from Elaine Bennis, but then they have to deal with his emotional problems that he's going through. And that is basically the final act of the movie. So that's kind of the spoiler-free version of it. Now we'll go into all the spoilers you guys want to do, and we will review. I'm going to ask Jared to go first, but he looks very like he's concentrating on something.
I'm seeing it. See, this is why I can't have Wikipedia. I was looking at all the actors, and then the director directed Robot and Frank and Paper Towns.
Oh, really? I like Robot and Frank. And I've seen Paper Towns.
I know. I've seen all his movies. It's crazy.
Have you seen either of his movies, Michael?
No. Never heard of the first one. I've heard of Paper Town, but never
Frank's really good. It's about an old guy with a robot.
Oh, old guy.
So, Michael, you want to go first on what your thoughts of this movie or what you were thinking going in? Like, what were you expecting?
I enjoyed the trailers for this movie, so I was like, I feel like it's hopefully going to be better than the rest. And then, but I hate you just have to, with Marvel, you have to stuff all of your expectations down so low. So I don't know if that attributed to why I liked it so much, but I did really very much enjoy this movie. It caught me by surprise. I forget how good Florence Pugh is as that character. Like after Black Widow and everything, I was like, oh man, she was just such a good character in that movie. And then coming back to this, like, oh yeah, Florence Pugh. Yeah, we know Florence Pugh. I'm like, oh, Florence Pugh reminded me why so much I like Florence Pugh in this movie. And David Harbour's character, I feel like he was a great amount of just ridiculous humor in it. Just I feel like they never really went over the top with him. Maybe he repeated a few lines. Hattie, this is so early. Usually took forever. So I feel like the ensemble cast was really well done. I feel like what's his name, Walker. I feel like they turned around a little bit because in the beginning I was like, you're really just being annoying. You're just kind of being annoying, but then you kind of realize he's really in this insecure place. I feel like they could have played with that a little bit more to make it not so just kind of like, ugh, you're yucky right now. You're just like give it a little more hint at him going through issues. Because later on I was like, okay, I get where you're coming from because you're having issues right now. But he's always having issues, but if the particular family issues he's going through that was causing him to lash out like a child. But but yeah, I like the progression of this movie. One thing it kept doing was it kept surprising me in the sense of we would get to a point where, say, for instance, whenever the Centurion is the Centurion, he comes down and there's this Superman moment where they all try to fight him, and it's like ping pong bang boom, nothing happens to him. And so I'm like, oh great, now we're gonna have some, the superhero get together moment. They're gonna all work together and take him out, and it never happens. And I was like, that's fantastic, because I was expecting that, and I was like, please. So I feel like the movie did that several times, just kind of subvert my expectations, and even the villain himself going this kind of representation of depression or mental illness in the sense of like what happens when you don't give Captain America the ideal, soldier boy wants to fight and be honorable and everything like that, give it to someone who's really struggling. Amplifying that kind of darkness in was very, very interesting take on it. And I felt like it was a nice change of not just bad guy in Marvel movie. It was like, oh no, I mean, there was a little bit of a twist where not twist, but suspension of disbelief for me whenever he first comes out and he's like immediately with Valentina, like, oh, I am this, but you can explain away that with the kind of, hey, those sides of him have been amplified. You can kind of get away with that excuse, but it's a little suspension of disbelief where he's like, oh, my friends, oh, we're not friends anymore. I have gold hair, pow pow. But apart from that, I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. The action was really good. Just kind of the lead up and the mystery going through the whole thing. I really appreciated it. And yeah,
I'm popular now, guys. I don't need you. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was very enjoyable. I didn't know where, like, it didn't go the right, or not the right, but like it didn't go down a path I thought it was going to go. They were in that place a lot longer than I thought, that Volt place. And I did like how we kind of like the bad guy was part of the team for a while. We got to be friends with him, and then he turned. I thought that was cool. I thought they could have fleshed it out more, but I thought that was a cool idea. Stuff. He's
now you're animals fighting. Animals are causing problems.
I liked all the characters. There's some parts that I want to talk about, but we're probably not there yet. Like one character I was very confused and like didn't see the point of, and then another one I was just like, what the heck? But yeah, as a whole, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And it was just a good team movie.
Yeah, good team movie. I liked it because it was different. I mean, I don't think Marvel has really given us something like this before, except for maybe like Eternals, but that didn't work at all because that was terrible.
That's too different.
Yeah. But this one was good because I really didn't want Suicide Squad because I was like, oh, this is just going to be quips the whole time and, just shooting and stuff like that. And it wasn't that. It was slower paced, maybe a little too slow in the vault. That kind of took a while to get out of there. Sentry is a really interesting character. They could have probably did a whole phase surrounding him, just because of how so in the comics he's introduced and everyone's like, who is this guy? And he's like, well, I'm one of the original Avengers, but everyone kind of forgot about me because the bad guy erased all your minds, but I've been here the whole time. So it's like that, and I really like that part, like Michael said, where he's fighting off all the Thunderbolts and they don't even stand a chance against him. Because in the comics, one of his first appearances is he rips Carnage apart and just leaves him in space. So kind of show how powerful he is. So I think Sentry was the high point of this movie. I think his story, um, unlike like a lot of the recent Marvel movies, this one actually gave us a story I actually cared about. I was like I want to see, because like stuff like Cap or Ant-Man, that just like it wasn't as, they were not stories. They're just like
Just monster of the
things.
week.
Yeah, it's just like formula that they put out there. This at least tried to do stuff. I won't say like everyone's been saying, oh, they really delved deep into mental health. It's pretty shallow. I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but
Yeah. um, I do have some problems with it. A lot of the comedy didn't land for me. I like you said, David Harbour is the funniest part. I liked his stuff, but a lot of the other comedy didn't really fall.
I didn't laugh at Bucky's parts when he's like a senator or whatever he is.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
it's
just kind
more
of
He's like
sad.
awkward.
dishwashing his arm and stuff.
John Walker, the way you explained him in the comics, that's very much how he's like. He's very rough and no one likes him, basically. So he is a big jerk in the comics. So. But yeah, they even get we even get stuff with him, with his family and stuff. And the one you don't get much with is Ghost, because I guess she had a whole.
Oh, there's one
movie.
more.
Well, Taskmaster. And they kind of make up for how badly they use Taskmaster in Black Widow, because that's nothing like the comic version of Taskmaster. So I don't know if that's Marvel saying sorry for making that Taskmaster, but I like the comic booky stuff. I do. Before we get to the end, is there any other stuff like you wanted to talk about, Jared?
Oh, just the Valentine's what is her name?
Assistant?
Valentina? Yeah, her assistant. Didn't need her in it because it just didn't make sense. Because at first I was like, oh, she wants to switch sides. And I'm cool with that. And then she's like, oh, you better give me a raise. I was like,
yeah.
Be evil or need help. I don't care which. Just choose one. It was dumb. I have two characters for different parts, but it bugged the crap out of me. And then this movie really was messing with my mind the whole time, because I was like, I bet Taskmaster's gonna get up right about now, and like she didn't die. She's right there. And like it was at the end, I was like, just any second.
She's gonna pop in. Hold on.
How do you guys feel about Bucky, though? Did you think that he needed to be in this movie, or?
I think he needed to be the leader of their team, like the more experienced one. But I don't think he needed to be like a congressman.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't really like in the beginning. I was like, oh, he's just here. But then whenever he shows up on the bike, I was like, oh, okay, now he's actually here. He's actually cool and doing things. And his like the play on, his dry personality versus all of their eccentric weirdnesses was funny.
Mm-hmm. All right. I saw a post that was like, Marvel's been hitting it out of the park with the villains or whatever. And this is like the only good villain I can remember, the Void. So he kind of deals with people's fears, and not fears, but like their insecurities. And
I didn't like his power where he was just like, they said it was like
poor little girl,
like the Hiroshima like shadow like thing or whatever. I thought it was when he first did it. Well, in the movie theater, me and Jonah were next to this guy because he's like, "Be safe, little one," and then he was. And the guy next to us was like, "Oh!" And he kind of laughed. I was like, "Oh man!" Yeah, I thought it was a cool effect. I thought he was a cool bad guy. It would have been a lot better if he was like the bad guy of like an Avengers movie, not like Doomsday or like something big like that, but like. Like the first Avengers where it's just low key. Something like that.
I'm sure he'll crazy. Come back in something. Maybe he fights Doom or something like that, because
They're gonna make him like the Hulk, where they need him, but if they do, they're gonna have
A little wild
trouble.
card.
Yeah.
So let's get to the end. The end is probably my biggest. Not the end, like where they go into the void and they kind of help. That made sense, because there's no way they were gonna defeat this villain, like they said. So they kind of had to talk him down, which they did. But my problem with the movie is the very end, where we get the reveal, because it had to have a reveal, because the old Thunderbolts comic, they had a review. So in the old one, it was these guys. The Avengers were all dead. So this new team came in, and they're like, "Who are these guys?" And then at the end, at the like high point of the story, it's revealed that these are bad guys. That they're bad guys that took on good guy personas to kind of led by Zemo to like trick everyone, so they could like take over, and then they kind of fight each other. But so they had to have a reveal for this one. So this one was that at the very end, they Elaine Bennis is like, "These are your new Avengers." So that's what we got. These are new Avengers. Even the promotion first, they're gonna like rebrand the movie basically and call it New Avengers. And this was my biggest problem, because I just don't think they fit the Avengers mold. I think they're good as their own team. They're kind of like the Guardians. It'd be like if the Guardians were like, you know what, we're Avengers too now. I think I'd rather just have them Thunderbolts. But what did you think about the big?
Oh, is that why there's an asterisk?
Yeah.
At the end of
Yeah.
the title. Oh, okay.
So what do you think about the big reveal?
I didn't know that was a reveal. I thought that was just like the movie. I didn't know they were like, this is now what's gonna happen. So I was like, I guess. And then I do like the whole like, oh, there's a trademark war with Anthony Mackie, because he's saying they're the Avengers and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty funny, but yeah, I didn't. As a reveal, I was like, we don't have Avengers, so I guess they could do the job while no one's there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that idea of like, I don't think it's going to be like them taking up the helm of everything else from now on. I like the idea of, like Jared brought up, the trademark war, or like it's almost like another Civil War kind of scenario where they're going to be trying to help do things, but they could possibly, in for the future movies, like in Doomsday, they could get in the way while trying to help out and everything. Hey, shut up. And so like they're like, no, that was my thing. I was doing that. No, we were over here doing this. Or like with the Mackey's team and then Bucky's team. Like it's an interesting dynamic they can play with. So I have no real thoughts about it. So just curious what they'll do with it. But
they can do Civil War 2. I don't even know what that one's about, but they can do it.
I know, it's Captain Marvel versus Iron Man again. I don't even remember how that ended.
weird.
So did you guys watch the after credits?
Mhm.
Oh, real fast. I was I had to go to the bathroom real bad. And I was like, are these ones important, Jonah? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, dang it. So I was like, I gotta sit for these. And then you can talk about what they are real fast if you want.
So did you see them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the first one's pretty much a joke, so we won't even spoil that one. But the last one was the big one. It's the longest after credits of all time for Marvel. It just didn't feel that long.
It
But
really didn't.
was-
It didn't, yeah.
So it's basically them talking about being Avengers now, and then they get this alert that something's coming in space, and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And Bucky's like, "You got to look at that." And they look at it. It's a rocket ship, and it says Fantastic Four logo. So the Fantastic Four are coming. So I think that's the next movie, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's pretty fast. This was the end of this phase. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I saw that this morning. I was like, oh,
So
wipe her hands clean of it now.
we're getting right into the Doomsday. I think it's Fantastic Four and then Doomsday, maybe? And then
When is Spider-Man after that?
Spider-Man's during it. So I don't know if it's going to
Basically,
be released before or
Oh yeah,
after.
because this movie's like during that or whatever.
Yeah, it takes place during Doomsday, but he's not a part of it.
So my eyes were floating, and then I was waiting for that scene, and then that happened, and I was like, "We knew that. That was the whole point of that movie."
We've seen the trailer.
But yeah, it's like I had to run afterwards. I was like, "Jonah, I'm gone."
I guess the only thing that it did, because I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if the Fantastic Four are going to be different Fantastic Four, but this kind of shows them coming from the 60s or like they are. So I guess that's kind of interesting. But
do we know which Earth they're from? Like
I don't think
616 or
they're not 616, definitely.
Well,
but
yeah.
I don't know which one they are. Hopefully that one's good too. I don't know.
When does that movie come out?
July,
July,
right?
real soon.
Yeah.
4th of
Soon.
July.
It's crazy. It's already May. How?
I got to the movies 20 minits late,
Late.
and there were still 3 trailers.
Oh, you-
Oh
that
my
I
god.
Yeah, we went to Alamo, so there weren't that many, but I did have I failed extremely in a theater humor moment because they have the whole climbing up the scene and he's like Bob's trying not to sneeze and they're like, oh, he starts saying cucumber over and over again, so everyone starts saying cucumber with him. God, will you guys go play somewhere else? Go. And so it gets to
That's too much action for the internet. Get out of here.
They get out of that whole thing, and I will say the scene after they get out, whenever Bob first gets shot and then goes up in the sky, so freaking dope. Like the music at that point hits so well, and then just his like, I love kind of ragdoll flying physics are so cool. So like he's getting up, he has no idea what he's doing, trying to control it, and then he just passes out. Absolutely, that scene was awesome in my opinion. It reminded me of like what was that old? Start with a C. It was like a horror movie where teenagers got superpowers.
Chronicle.
They remind me of like that, those kind of visuals. But then after that, it goes quiet, and then a dude like 5 rows behind sneezes. In my brain, I was like, I've got to say something. What am I supposed to say? It was like 2 seconds too late. I was like, cucumber. I should have yelled cucumber. It would have been hilarious. I
would have laughed if Alex was like cucumber. You're like,
no!
no.
I was so mad at myself because I was like, what am I supposed to say? I couldn't remember. It would have been very funny, but I failed. I failed our theater.
I did want to say, like, I liked Bob as a character. Like, at first when he's like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing here. He's like kind of like a dude bro kind of. I was like, I like this.
I did.
And then, yeah, I just like him.
Yeah, good acting.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I even like when he's like, do you think the blonde hair is too much?
I don't really care for Elaine Bennis.
Dude, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's getting her comeuppance. We're gonna be done with her. And then she's like, this is our new Avengers. I was like, no, we got rid of Nick Fury for this. I was so mad.
I did like Florence Pugh's like we own you now, basically. But one thing I will say, because normally like her character's always been kind of annoying. I don't think that's a shocking statement, but I did like her kind of seeing her struggle in the courtroom scene where she plays this whole like, oh, la di da da, whatever, we're not scared. And then she's out, she's like, well, dang it, she's walking really fast. Like, we got to get rid of this and this and this.
Yeah,
I thought she played that really well. But
which team does Spider-Man join?
Does he make his own team? He does the X-Men team. He gets the X-Men.
Dude, I would join Spider-Man's team in a second. I'd be like, this guy's the guy. Me and Jonah got to the movie super early. We get there like the full 30 minutes before you can get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're watching, you know how Alamo has like tailor-made like trailers to like kind of reflect the movie. There was a sign spinning one. I was like, what the heck? what is this for? And then there was one for that song, We Will Stand Together or whatever, that was in the credits.
Yeah.
And there was just all of them. I couldn't like place it. I was like, what does this have to do with anything? And then we're at the movie. I was like, okay.
Oh, right there. Oh.
I like that part. He was like, I was on meth. Like if you hit me with that sign one more time. It's good, but very cool visuals in that part too. Like with her going like the forest onto the floor of that one place. It was like vertically. I don't know. I love that kind of trippy stuff. It's very well done. And like Joseph said, like it's so new and different from what we've seen from Marvel. So props to them for taking a chance on not the formulaic crap we've had.
Yeah. Not.
Because
Dang,
man,
yeah.
it was nice to enjoy. Like Guardians 3 was the only other movie since probably Shang-Chi that I've enjoyed in a while.
Yeah. Spider-Man in there. That was good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Fantastic Four scares me because it looks like they're just gonna do the same story as
Yeah,
Rise
that
of the
is
Silver
weird.
Surfer. It's like, why are you doing this again? We've had
But
this.
they switched out the Cloud Galactus for the real one. They're like,
Yeah.
we did it,
Not
guys.
the girl surfer and not the boy one.
It gave you what you want. And then the girl surfer, man. There's a female Herald of Galactus. Why didn't they just use her? She's Nova, and she's pretty cool.
Why didn't they just make the textures on her better? Like, why does it look so bad? That's what I'm.
I know.
I don't care about the Silver Surfer. He's always kind of just like he contemplates in space. I don't care. He's too
a
deep for
meme.
me.
He's got the.
But like when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Doom is. That's gonna be weird.
And just the little leaks about how like the one that got me was Johnny's not like his normal self. Like he's not like
he seems okay
Party
in the
boy.
trailer,
Yeah,
though.
he does seem
like,
good in the trailer.
When he's like, "You're gonna be a terrible."
Did you guys see
he's probably
the?
gonna play Metallica on a guitar or on a car. And...
I hope so. Did you see the rumor that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is supposed to be like the twin brother or something like that of Tony Stark, something like that?
No,
it was like some weird. That's why they're supposed to look alike. Is like that's what the story's going to be. Is like I can't remember what exactly the relationship was, but
he does have a brother in the comics. I forget what his name is.
I thought it was just going to be like the Fantastic Four's Tony Stark was Doctor Doom.
I know it's going to be weird how they explain all that.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
No idea.
And then our people would be like, that is Iron Man. And that's Doctor Doom.
He looks so different now. He's like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He's all like shaving.
Short hair and looking a bit older.
Yeah, lots of rumors for that Doomsday movie.
It's gonna be bananas. I just hope it's good. That's when I'm like, I don't know. I know. It'd be interesting to see that first trailer. Like, what tone are we getting with this?
Is it going to be like Ant-Man?
Oh God! Who's on the team? Like, who are the Avengers? Like, is it just Thunderbolts plus?
Yeah, it's
some
Thunderbolts,
X-Men,
Fantastic Four, and it seems like the X-Men are going to fight them. Like, that's what's because like the two worlds are at war. So like our world's at war with the X-Men world. So. That's what I've heard.
I don't know.
So it's basically Avengers versus X-Men.
That's a weird thing to bring up.
Versus Doctor Doom versus Galacto, or no, Galactus and the other one. I don't know.
Galactus, I don't know. His feet look kind of small when he walks, like compared to his like size.
Maybe he's going big to small there.
You think he'd have big old feet, but they're like little.
They should make him have a dance-off battle with Guardians boys.
So that was a rumor. I guess is wrong because they were like, I mean, it could still be right, but Peter Quill was going to bring the Fantastic Four into our world. Like he's the one that's going to meet them because he's on Earth now, eating cereal and stuff. All right, tell us what you thought of the movie. Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.